How's it, sports fans, and welcome to episode 3 of Sport Reactions here on Sports Lockdown. And of course, it is rugby today. There were no outlets to buy a new Sharks jersey, so I am stuck with my 11-year-old Curry Cup jersey. Forgive me for that, but you've got to make a plan when you're in lockdown. So, what am I reacting to? Well, last week, SARU sent out a media release confirming the tournaments and competitions that they will be taking part in, and unfortunately announcing the competitions that they will be cancelling. So let's have a quick look at that and confirm what the situation is. The tournaments which are still part of the planning, local franchise and union competition planned for June to August as alternative to Vodacom Super Rugby and Guinness Pro 14. So that's obviously it. Super Rugby is over, done and dusted. I mean, that's extremely sad, of course. As a Sharks fan, we're doing very well, and I'm disappointed. I've got to be honest. Could they not have made some sort of plan, played a week or two of matches, just so that everyone was on the same amount of games, and then played a semi-final and final, just to have some conclusion? I mean, to have a season just cancelled like this is just, well, disappointing beyond belief for everyone. What are they going to do in terms of that local franchise competition? Because they say also unions. Are the Pumas and Griquas also going to play? Are all the unions going to play in that? Maybe that's the way to go. I mean, they say the Super Sport Rugby Challenge is still taking place, but why not just scrap that and everyone can just play in this competition? It'll be nice to see the Cheetahs back in the frame. Curry Cup Premier and First Division still taking place. Provincial under 21, women's interprovincial in BOK matches. Thank goodness. I mean, it's all about the box, and I don't know what I'd do if I had to spend a year without Springbok matches. And also the World 7 Series. Now, basically all the other events that were supposed to take place have probably been suspended or cancelled by now. So will those just be shifted later in the year? They do have the time to do that, of course. The Olympics have been postponed, and the first tournament of the next season only takes place, at the end of November. So I think they can still probably finish the season. Why not? They've got the time to do it. Now, the competitions that have been cancelled, all SA Rugby Youth Weeks. That, of course, includes, sadly, the Craven Week. I think it started in the 70s, so it'll be the first time it hasn't taken place since then. Good luck to all the academies and unions and franchises looking to contract youngsters for next year. I know that they've always got certain guys on their radar anyway, and the Craven Week isn't the be-all and end-all. It is only 1 week where they probably find the odd gem that they didn't know about before. But there's been hardly any schoolwear rugby so far. I would guess that the first matches in terms of school rugby will probably only take place near the end of June. I do hope they extend the school season right up until the end of the third term, or what's probably going to be now the second term. And there's going to be a lot of scouts chasing their tails to try and find talent. What else is cancelled? SA Rugby, Provincial under 13 and under 17 sevens, SA Schools under 18 competition, Provincial under 19 week, Provincial under 20 competition, and Provincial sevens competition. So there you go. That's what's cancelled. Now, this is also a bit of a suggestion reaction, if you want to call it that, because what is Super Rugby 2021 going to look like? We all know that changes are going to be made, and the Sunwolves were going to be playing their last season now. So I thought, if they are going to make changes, let's make it interesting, please. It's been a little staid over the last few years, and honestly, I think it's time for something fresh. So, Super Rugby 2021. 2 things that I think must happen. Number 1, you have multiple divisions. So you have promotion relegation at the end of the season. We know how well it works in various football leagues around the world. It adds excitement even at the bottom of the table. Also, no conference systems, no convoluted situation where certain teams don't play other teams. No, in specific sections, everyone must play everyone, and preferably home and away. Now, how did I work out who should be in the various divisions? Well, I went back to the start of Super 14, 2006. So simply by taking the amount of points they had for the season and dividing it by the amount of matches. I then added up the averages over the years and came up with a total. And then I added extra points, bonus points, for winning competitions and also reaching finals. So here you go, Super Rugby table 2006 to 2019. Crusaders are obviously way, way, way ahead. During that time, they won 5 titles and made 2 finals. 66.75. The Hurricanes, 49.44. Less than a point behind them, the Chiefs. The Bulls on 47.50. They did have an inferior average to the Sharks, but because of their 3 wins in 07, 09, and 2010, the tail end of Super 14, I added 9 points because of those 3 victories. And I think at the end of the day, it's about winning the competition, and they've done it, so fair enough. The Sharks in 5th place, Waratahs just behind them in 6th, Brumbies 39.97. The Stormers round out the top 8 to 38.98. The Lions 32.5. Of course, they reached 3 finals in succession, but they were so bad during the Super 14 era that they couldn't recover from that. Jaguares 25.06. I mean, I know what people are going to say. They didn't play most of that time, and it's unfair to judge them that way. What I did do to help in that situation was the seasons they didn't play, I gave them an average of 1.5. Admittedly, they on the rise. So, but you've got to make a decision. It's not an exact science. The Force 24.64, Cheetahs just behind them, then the Rebels, then the Kings, then the Sunwolves. Who will play in, as I call it, the Super Rugby Premier League? Well, the top 8, simple as that. Crusaders, Hurricanes, Chiefs, Bulls, Sharks, Waratahs, Brumbies, Stormers. I think 14 matches are a nice number. You play everyone home and away. Then there's no debate about who's the best. You go straight into a semi-final and final. Easy, simple as that. Now, what will be interesting at the end of the season is that the team that comes last gets automatically relegated. The team that comes 7th is involved in a playoff with the losing championship finalist. Who could that be? Well, similar situation. I'd like there to be at least 8 teams in the championship. So guaranteed Highlanders, Blues, Lions, Reds, Jaguares, Rebels. Those are dead set teams that are part of the competition now. Will the Force come back into it? Well, I suspect they will, because mining magnate Andrew Forrest, who owns the Force, spent big bucks fighting the Australian Rugby Union to keep them in Super Rugby. They did eventually lose that case, but I can't see that they wouldn't jump at the chance. Since then, he started Global Rapid Rugby, just so that the Force have a competition to play in. And I'll get into that in a few minutes. The Cheetahs, has the experiment of Pro 14 worked? Well, that's up for debate. It's cost Saru huge money just to have the Cheetahs and Kings in the competition so far. They are not full members yet. I don't know if that was going to be happening at the end of this season, but if they come to the Cheetahs now and say, hey, listen, do you want to come back? They kind of the forgotten boys of South African rugby. And at the end of the day, out of sight, out of mind, I mean, I know Rassie or Jacques Nienaber will be looking at those matches, but man, if they're not playing other top South African players regularly, it's tough to judge whether they can play for the Springboks. So I would think that the Cheetahs players would want to or prefer to play Super Rugby. If the Cheetahs or Kings or Sunwolves aren't going to play, I suggest that a team made up of Fijians, Samoans, and Tongans form what I've dubbed the Islanders to play in the competition. I think that'd be great for Pacific Rugby, and if they are included, I'd be more than happy with that. So, of course, as I mentioned, the champion will be automatically promoted to the Premier League. The losing finalist, promotion relegation playoff. The 8th team, of course, will get automatically relegated, and a similar situation. The 7th team will be involved in a playoff in the first division. So I've actually got 3 divisions. So let's see who could be part of that. If the Islanders aren't involved in the championship, they can be part of this. Then I really do think that Argentina need a second team. This whole situation with the Jaguares play every match and then change their jerseys and play as Argentina, we saw in the World Cup, it didn't work for them. As good as they were in Super Rugby, I think they ran out of steam. So I've dubbed them the Gauchos. Will a Japanese team be involved in Super Rugby? I think everyone would like that to be the case, but not the Sunwolves and their current guys, where it's a whole bunch of has-beens coming from all over the place, a whole bunch of Islanders who could actually play for the Islanders, and some South Africans. I mean, that's not what it's about. I think we all enjoyed Japan at the World Cup. It was great to see. Of course, we had to knock them out, but that's just the way it was. So can they create a composite team of the best Japanese top league sides? Maybe. But remember, back in the day, Singapore also bid for that spot. So could they come back into the fray? Now, I mentioned Global Rapid Rugby. And as you see, Malaysia Falca. Yes, I said it, the Falca. They are the team from the East Rand, who are part of this franchise based in Kuala Lumpur. The coach, Rudy Hubert. Our old name in South African rugby was the assistant coach in the 95 World Cup, as well as in 2003. Coached the Falca for many years. The CEO is Yuri Kutsia. Most of the team are South Africans. Good on the Falca for getting involved. We have the South China Tigers, who are based in Hong Kong. The China Lions, interesting here. They are effectively run by the Bay of Plenty Rugby Union and play their matches in Rotorua with a squad almost exclusively of New Zealanders. But they're called the China Lions because of the association with the Chinese Rugby Union. So interesting situation. Yeah, I don't know how that helps Chinese rugby, but I'm sure they've got some sort of plan. And then if the Islanders don't want to form a composite team, you do have the Fijian Latui and the Manuma Samoa, who are currently playing in this competition. The reason I've mentioned these teams is because they already exist. They've got a structure. They've got squads. They've got coaches. They've got venues. So don't reinvent the wheel. Invite teams that already exist that would like to be part of something like Super Rugby. Now, let's say, for instance, we have 6 teams or 5 teams. Who else gets involved? I still think the Pumas and Griquas have performed well enough in South African rugby for a number of years to be hopefully included in this. And then, if we need another 1 or 2, possibly a team from Uruguay, the second best rugby team in South America, and then USA and Canada. We all know that there's big bucks in the USA, and the system that they employ as far as their big franchise competitions, the rest of the world can certainly learn a few things there. So, there you go. Those are my 3 divisions. Those are possible teams that could play in them. And I was quite scientific with the way I worked out which team should be in what divisions, at least the first 2. Do you agree with me? Should we split it up into various divisions and have promotion relegation? Should we go back to Super 14? If the Sunwolves get dropped out, there's 14 teams, everyone plays everyone. But I do like the home and away situation in promotion relegation. But I'm open to suggestions, so please, in the comments, please let me know what you think. Until the next episode here on Sports Lockdown, cheers for now.